very much, guys. You know, I thought maybe you guys would take the draft this time around. You just kept going. I was like, okay. But no, thank you so much. And I love the breakdown. I do agree with a lot of what was going on in Nongshim. I think as a team, they have to figure that out if they want to have a chance tonight, because they did not look like they were here to play for the second half of that game.
I think games like that can be so frustrating as well, because there's so much that actually did go right. Obviously, there's so much that went wrong, you know, no mistake about that. But it can be almost more frustrating when it's like, well, we had a good early plan. Now we have to decipher everything that went wrong, but you don't have that much time. You know, do you just go more forward focusing in the next game? But it's really like you don't want to just skip over what happened there. A lot to diagnose and not much time to do it and to turn around. Obviously, losing a series against KRX would be a pretty devastating blow, considering the start of this week, they were undefeated. And I know it's early in the season to say undefeated, but after getting off to such a hot start, having a 0-2 week would be pretty rough for Nongshim. Now, it is Nongshim who pick up the Rumble ban here, interestingly enough. Pantheon. Pantheon. That's the one that got left open. That I was drawn to, so that will be picked, to no surprise. Very strong pick. Sponge not having the best game overall, especially later on. He's getting caught out a good amount. Pantheon is just, he's just a little crazy. A little bit extremely strong.
Little bit.
Yeah. What is going to be traded over in response, though? Yunara, do you just grab the Lulu now? Do you grab the Nocturne and try and get the Lulu on 3? I don't think you should, because they already have Pantheon. No, they're going to go no. Not a huge fan of this, because now you're forced to take Lulu on 3 if you want it. But maybe they just take the Lulu away from you, and then you never get it. I know prioritizing a pick for Rich is often important, but you're also second pick, so, you know, you could have given him counter pick.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was fine on the Yorick. Like, yeah, he didn't do well early into the Jace, but that's fine. So I feel like, you know, the point is giving him some kind of counter pick, or at least putting him in that situation, is okay, I think. But instead, they're going to look for counter picks elsewhere. And Bessa is selected here for the top lane, and Annie locked right into the mid lane.
This is a top side. I mean, often we think about picks that can deal with a Yunara, and you think like Vi, Nautilus, but there's a lot of point and click and an Bessa. So for the Yunara, going to be a tough time. They do pick up the Aurora, though. They don't pick up the Lulu, and I think you kind of have to in this situation, because the Annie, we've seen Aurora picked into so many times, that is kind of the de facto answer. It does mean, though, we are going to see the Lulu banned away here by Nongshim, no doubt. And for KRX, they're going to trim away some of the AD carry options, with the Caitlyn getting taken off first and foremost. Wanting to weaken some of the laning of Nongshim's bot lane, which I think makes sense given what we just saw come through.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea for sure. Nongshim considering some bans here for what they do want to take away the Nocturne. You mentioned that as well. Certainly a good choice, but now will be banned, which means they only get one shot at banning the Lulu here.
Yeah, I think maybe for the side of KRX, maybe you're thinking like Corki Nami is a potential. Maybe even like yeah, just gonna be the Nami. So Corki Nami gonna get taken away. You have to see Corki Nami into Yunara. I imagine this is probably just the Lulu. And then, what are you going to pair the Yunara with? We've seen a lot of pairings, but a lot of supports have been taken away when you think about it. You know, Nico Yunara was a thing for quite a bit. I don't think she categorically needs an enchanter, but having that level of protection obviously does help a good amount.
Oh.
Is he going for the Xin Zhao ban? So banning junglers who sync well with the Lulu, but not banning the Lulu itself, trying to trim away some of Willa's power. But it does mean that Lulu is available for Andal when he wants it, if he wants it. They are going to go for the Poppy instead, which is a flex between jungle and support.
Yeah. So now an opportunity to take the Lulu away, but if you're going to play Corki...
Yeah, you can't play Corki Lulu, it's just not allowed.
Yeah. But they're going to play Corki and they're going to play Nautilus.
Okay. and the Lulu just doesn't get picked. Alistair going to come through instead, I guess, into the Nautilus, wanting a bit of bulk in the front line, and also maybe concerned about taking the Lulu, who is a bit of a vulnerable target. Poppy, Alistair, really bulky. I can also weather some of the burst from the side of Nongshim KRX, but this Annie Pantheon is a little scary at the setup they have.
Yeah.
That's a little spooky. That being said, can be hard to pin down things like the Aurora, but I'm just worried that if they get off to an early start, which they did last game, there might not be any stopping them. We've seen Pantheon take over games so convincingly.
Yeah, you remember Sponge was able to get first blood in the last game, so if he does that not on a Jarvan and on the the Pantheon, could definitely see him take off in this one. Nongshim go. Got engaged.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. But anyway, you also came to the LCK. Congratulations.
Oh, that's what I was saying congratulations for.
Yeah.
But also congratulations for getting engaged, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. But yeah. Welcome to the LCK. A lot of frontline. A lot of ability to deal with the engage on the side of Nongshim. Very clear what Nongshim wants to do.
Yeah.
With their composition. Looks like we're ready to go. Let's hop on the rift for game number 2.
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
Alrighty. Game number 2. And all of us predicted Nongshim, but they lost game 1. So,
Well,
who knows what's going to happen
you
here.
say all of us. We all remember the 15% of soup voters.
Yes.
You know,
All of us.
the 9% on
Yeah, the knowers.
X. I think it was like 4% on... No, 4% on Worry Bank.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't remember what it was in Chichijuk. It was pretty low, though.
Maybe it was also 9%. Oh, it was the same as Uribang.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so 4%.
So represent those people who are looking pretty good so far. But we'll see. We'll see if it carries through. Obviously, Kirum KRX have had a pretty tough streak of Saturday showdowns.
Yeah, a lot of 2-1s not in their favor. So maybe that first game was the fluke where they get the 1 and then Nongshim kind of wake up.
So something I want to note is Lehens has Ignite. He wants to kill. He wants to get some momentum going early. But
what if you don't get level 2 first? Taeun is just going to get bopped back and finally hits level 2 and gets his Valkyrie. It looked a little strange there. We'll have to see the replay as Taeun steps back up. Lazy Field flashes in, and he's not quite going to get the kill as the Slurkle is blocked. But here comes Willer. He's on the chase, and that's going to force him to go all the way back to the second turret.
I feel like I just got stunned by that. What happened to his flash? Sometimes, you know, you get the spectator, like the slow flash that comes through. So it's really hard to know what... I mean, okay. I know what happened. He obviously flubbed his flash, but I want to know actually what happened.
Yeah.
And Aurora is 0-7 right now, so not looking too good in terms of odds. We know what this champion can do, you know. Remember the LCK Cup game from Chovy, but right now not doing so hot in the matchup. Surely we have to get a replay of that bot play.
Yeah, we have to.
I want to decipher.
I don't know if that word will be necessary when we watch the replay. Might not be a whole lot to decipher. Gnar on a 7-game winning streak, 9-1.
Just pick Gnar.
Just crazy.
Just pick Gnar, just slam Gnar.
The stats we have.
The LCK is so back. You know, you were worried after first stand, right? LCK came third. It's fine. You just slam Gnar again, and we're so back. We've never been more back.
Yeah, just go back to, you know, old comfort. Go back to the tried and true. That is the LCK way. You thought maybe we'd, you know, iterate and bring out some new interesting picks from the LEC? No.
Shentop?
Sorry, Wadid.
Hogmore, 80
Not
carry?
gonna happen.
No, we just slam Gnar.
Yeah, we did ban Kog'Maw that one time.
I pick Gnar, and I win. And if I don't, then I don't want to play anymore.
All right.
오랜만이래. 미안.
See, so that's what I thought happened.
Yeah, just a mistake. Because he
볼래?
spam said sorry immediately.
So
yeah.
again, when we saw it the first time, there was like the slow flash spectator thing, and that's
Yeah.
what I thought happened. But I was like,
There's no way.
yeah, it did. I kind of got stun locked, you know. I kind
Yeah.
of got Alistair comboed by his flash. But mistakes happen when the pressure's on, I guess.
I guess he meant a barrier. That would be the only real.
Actually, I've worked it out.
It's the only thing that makes sense.
So if you look, his flash is on D.
It's on the wrong key.
That's the wrong key. We all know that. So, you
F
know
is
what?
for flash, clearly.
Absolutely. So it's not even his fault. Oh no. Sponge and Willa also have their flashes on the wrong key. So they're going to go to smite an objective.
Same with Rich.
And they're going to flash instead.
Rich is gonna go in for an engage, and he's gonna teleport.
Oh, that's
Like 3 feet.
That's so embarrassing.
Hopefully it's on cooldown so he realizes. Maybe he TPs into the fight, you know? It's kind of a way to get around that.
I just know how different things would be if they just like made it so you had to have flash on F. And if you wanted to change that, you had to like manually go into the key bindings and change that.
Yeah.
But everyone by default, it was like, no. This is how you have it.
Little skirmish down here. Ondo just gonna face check. Takes a ton of damage. Willer was here though, which is why he was so brazenly running into the river.
Yeah, Ignite thrown down obviously puts a lot of threat on, reduces that healing from Andal, but it was just a bit of a heavy trade. Nothing more to come from it so far. We have seen Scout with a decent lead in the mid lane, and now has access to Tibbers, which is always fun to play against in the mid lane, when you just get Tibbers dropping your head in every trade.
Speaking of trades here, Lazyfield once again going in. Slurkle not going to be blocked this time. Taeyun doesn't really have much of a health bar anymore. We're fighting for level 6 for our junglers. On the Scuttle Crab, Sponge going to take a huge amount of damage on his way out, and that Scuttle Crab will be secured, and maybe even the Drake.
Yeah, honestly, Sponge a little lucky he didn't get stunned. I think Willa could have committed to the flash, but, you know, Sponge had flash too, so not wanting to go too aggressive for it, but definitely the pressure in favor of KRX there on the bot side. And, you know, things going pretty okay so far, especially with the mistake in the bot lane. The fact that Lazyfield, you know, you have this Yanara Alistair, and I know Yanara Lulu has been a big thing as well, but if you get Yanara Alistair out of lane, you feel great.
Yeah.
You know, Lahen's committing to the... Wow. Lahen's committing to the Ignite as well, clearly wanted to leverage 2v2 pressure and get ahead, and that just hasn't happened.
What is this shot? I don't understand. What did they mean by this? They're like, oh, we're awake, I swear. We're having a great time. Scout, meanwhile, is not having much of a great time. He is going to drop the Tippers, though. And he is saved this time.
Yeah, I'm going to need some context.
Yeah, I don't really know what they meant by that. Just a wholesome moment. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, me and Brendan do that sometimes. I'll lean on his shoulder while we're casting.
It's kind of hard to do with the headsets, though.
It is. It's a little
That's why Ox and I are really urging the LCK to move to hand mics.
Yes, then I can just lie on his shoulder while I'm casting. Be really comfy.
And very wholesome, of course.
Yeah.
I think we were just kind of having a lull in the action, but as they put that up, yeah, see? See, they even have this recorded. They know. That's probably from like days ago. You know? No, that happened like an hour ago.
I remember that. Because I put my hand out and you kept like whipping it away. And then I grabbed it.
Then he grabbed it tightly.
Yeah.
This is going to be Aurora in a lot of trouble. First blood goes
dead.
over to Sponge, get executed.
There's a lot of CC between this Nautilus, Annie, Pantheon. I feel like, you know, this trio, limited counterplay. If one hits, they all hit, and all of them are pretty easy to hit. So, you know, Yukao gets caught out there and it just dies. Yeah, just not much you can do. So, a nice pick there from Nongshin, first kill of the game. We'll see if they're able to find more like that. I imagine it won't be too difficult.
really, you know, Nongshim getting early leads is not surprising for me. It doesn't make me feel any differently about the way Game 2 is going to pan out.
I'm sure they'll get an early lead and be able to convincingly play out the game.
I mean, they
in
might.
a controlled manner.
I really hope they figured it out.
Any evidence to suggest otherwise.
Yeah.
Recently.
Well, today we did have game number 1, which you may have deleted from your memory already. And unfortunately, that didn't happen. We're going to take a look at the replay, which UCal doesn't want to see.
The control wood, and especially because Willer's there, you feel safe walking this way. Yeah, the Nautilus connects, and then it's just the follow-ups there. It's just all there. Don't get to play the game. Don't get to have fun. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Is it like 200 pounds if you get the British version?
Yeah.
It is? Wow. That's like a lot of money. That's a lot more than we get in the American version. Engage here, and that's a secure from Willer. He's going to pick up that objective. Willer might go down, but no, Taehoon has to flash in just to take him out, but immediately gets the kill over to Lazyfield because of that. And KRX also got the Drake, so feeling pretty good about that fight.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that to flash in just to clean up that kill on the back end feels really bad because this Yunara is just free hitting the whole time. And you know there's no way to get out of this. Oh.
Well, Scout does have flash. He is not going to use it until now. And it will be enough to get him away.
Okay, well, trade of flashes in the end. Oftentimes, I mean, there's no Hex flash for Alistar. Alistar flash is very valuable. You know what else is valuable? Anti-flash. Yeah, so not a bad trade.
Yeah.
Overall. We'll see the replay of this fight. So I think part of the problem is they come in for the dragon, the Pantheon kind of gets bounced around into that wall and stunned and just deleted. Really nice setup there. And then the fact that Willer flashes out and survives so long, Taehoon has to go in, just feels really bad for the side of Nongshim. But yeah, the setup, the bounce house that Sponge experienced, not the fun kind.
Yeah. You know, some days you just queue up for solo queue and it just feels like it's not your day. You know, it's just really tilting. Like first game, you get a bit of a soft enter, and the next game you just don't play very well because you're feeling tilted. I feel like that's
some days
Nongshim today, you know? Like game number 1 was supposed to be theirs, but it was wrenched away from them, and then game 2, they're like, nothing's going our way. Like the guy gets away with 1 health. Rich, nice dodge here on the public execution, and now Willer on the run. He is very fast on the phase rush Poppy. And Kingen gonna be slammed into that wall just a bit. Does dodge the wallop though. And might want to dash forward, but...
Yeah, a lot of dodging and dipping from both of these top laners coming through there. Otherwise, you know, potential for either of them to have gone down overall with the ult from Kingen or the stuns and the boulder connecting from Rich. Bit of an exciting 1v1 there. But yeah, so what you should do in that situation, you're talking about the hypothetical, is probably take a break.
Yeah.
Just take a little break, reset.
What if you're a pro and you win game 2?
Well,
you have to play game 3.
The answer, Brendan, is what everyone actually does. You just queue up again.
Yeah. Can't end on a loss.
And
right?
you do the patented lock in.
Yeah. Just stop being tilted.
And if you think you're already, locked in, right? What you do is you lock in a little bit further.
Yeah.
That
you turn the key just a couple more.
You find out that actually there was a way to lock in further than you already were locked in. You just weren't aware yet. So that's what you do in that situation. Clearly, Nongshim just weren't locked in enough that last game. So I imagine this is probably what the coaches said to them as well.
I don't really see why you would have to say anything else, really. Just say that, and I think you're good to go.
Yeah.
That's why if you ever move away from commentating, I think you've got a pretty good.
I mean, you come in the coaching booth. Guys, lock in, build better items. Okay, quickly go to the bathroom so we don't get fined. There you go. It'd be pretty quick.
Yeah, it doesn't take a lot of effort, it feels like, you know? At least when Dan is coaching. Willer's here. They're trying to bait Kingen into this one, and he does get baited in a bit as he's going to taxi in onto the minion and then gets in with the ult and lines it up for Rich. who knocks him down. No flash for Kingen means an easy kill.
Nicely played. And I feel like the Poppy being in the game when the Ambassador is feels bad, right? Having that ability to cancel out the CC. Good setup there, though, especially Kingen being on this Eclipse spike. You really want to be leveraging that strength, and getting shut down in that manner does not feel so hot. Yeah. Just gets spitted in, goes aggressive there, uses all his cooldowns, and Willer, as you said, taxis in on the minion. Ult to set up Rich, who was approaching Mega anyway. Great timing for it. And now he has his first time completed, so he's feeling much better about this matchup.
Like, Lazy feel he has the biggest lead, and he is Yunara AD carry, so that feels very nice. But Rich, very much, you know, doing a great job. They blind picked the Gnar for him, and in the 1v1 has been having a great time, and also picking up a gank here from his teammate just means that this lead is probably going to balloon even farther. The Eclipse picked up for Kingen, but Rich at the moment is dominating the lane, so getting a lot of value out of that Gnar blind pick.
You see Dragon up and available, second of the game. Not the earliest, but still definitely something to play for, especially as KRX got the first one, so Nongshim trying to set up. It looks like they're looking mid, though, for the Aurora.
I think Rich just took 2 turret shots, but he will be backing away now.
You know, the Rocket Belt Merc Treads combo from Yukal, keeping him safe there from the CC.
Yeah.
They do force him out, though, and are now pushing in.
Well, that's an engage on an Ondil. That's not necessarily the target you want to go in on with the Unbreakable Will procced and a TP behind. Scout gets the angle, but that's onto the Poppy. A lot of damage going to the tanks of KRX, but Yukal totally separated, has to run away, and the ult comes in, and Yukal will nearly eventually go down. They're also going to get Willer in this front line, and the face check into the brush, into the river, rather, does not work out for KRX. As maybe a missile to try to take out Lazy Feel, but they're not quite going to get close enough. So Nongshim, good fight to them.
Yeah, I mean, a huge fight win. 4 flashes from KRX being there to get away, and they only just have those 3 members surviving. Lazy Feel nearly going down, but it's Dragon secured. The setup was good. And initially, it looked like they committed a lot onto Andal, but they turned targets quickly, and I really like the flank that ended up coming through here from the Annie from Scout. So they go for this initial engage onto Andal, and I think the key thing is that the TP start to come in, the Breakable Will's been used, so they start to kite back, and then Willer walks in this brush, shield is down from his passive, he just gets bursted. Yukal comes in, gets focused down, and immediately the call's like, right, well, we don't have Mega Gnar. Willer's chunked, Yukal's chunked. We can't actually fight from here. And they had to just disengage from the situation. I think a big aspect of this was the front line. We talked about this really strong front line of the Alistar Poppy. They were like 0 HP within seconds of the fight starting because of how Nongshim played it, and it made it so difficult for KRX to navigate from there. So a really good approach, I think.
Yeah, especially for this point in the game where your Yunara is only on the Kraken Slayer and doesn't really have a whole lot of damage, and also the front line kind of got chunked before he was even able to auto-attack.
And there's no Krakens on Nongshim.
I think Nautilus is kind of...
like half Kraken?
He's pretty close. Like, I don't think anyone else is close.
Yeah.
Although
Kraken,
Pantheon thinks he is.
Half Kraken, you know, a little bit.
I could see it. I mean, he's from the depths, right?
Okay, so maybe it's more effective against him.
Yeah. And it seems very effective against Tane, but he's definitely not a Kraken, so I don't know what's going on there.
Who's more Kraken, do you think, Nautilus or Vel'Koz? Vel'Koz has the tentacles, at least.
I'd say Vel'Koz.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, makes sense.
Ondil is just, he's just getting in there. He's getting his hands dirty, one way or another, he says. And eventually this should lead to a kill going over to the Yunara, as Lazyfield does pick that one up for his second of the game.
Yeah, I mean, they get the Herald, but a pretty easy pickup there. No flash on Sponge, no way to get out. They are now fishing for Scout here, but Lehens is there to cover.
Lehens is here. They don't have a lot of damage outside of Yukal, as Ondil's just gonna...
He has no ult, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know about that. Although Willer is going to ult him away, and Scout should go down here, as there's the kill going over to Yukal. Taeyun wants to try to clean up here. Kingen also making his way over, and that'll be Taeyun picking up a kill onto Willer. But meanwhile, Plate's going down in mid.
Okay, that was a strange passage of play.
Yes.
We'll see the replay of the Herald passage of play, which was pretty straightforward. You know, they can't get Sponge out. They go, look, I'll peel for you. The hands just leave. I'll be the one left behind. And he does do a lot of damage to Lazy Field, but not quite able to take him out. And then this play, Andel's like flashing to go for this, and he has no ult, so he just dies. Scout even ults him to like, cause he wants to kill and settle the hens, but it was just such a weird play.
Yeah.
And then here, like, Mega Tibbers, like super angry Tibbers is chasing Yukon, and he's got low mana, so he was never going to be able to do much, so it's just an easy kill picker for yeah, I don't know. That was weird. That was a weird passage of play.
Yeah.
And now we can move on from it. The game is pretty close. This has been a much more... Like, last game, Longshim had a big lead, and then it spiraled out of control. But it was like a solid curve away from them. This one's been kind of yo-yoing, you know?
Yeah, it does feel like we've had some mistakes on both sides. Andil forgetting he doesn't have ult. Taeyoon earlier flashing at level 1. Into the enemy AD carry.
You didn't need to remind me of that, honestly. Yeah. I'd kind of cleared that out of my mind.
We had Andil and Willer running into the river before the team was ready.
I think...
Picking up on a bunch of burst damage.
For a game like this, you just keep the last, like, 3 plays in your mind. I think that's all you need.
Yeah. We'll leave it to the space to get the highlights.
Yeah. The flash, the level 1 tail flash, that was gone pretty quickly.
Yeah.
That one I just... Whoop, no. Yeah, it happens.
I kind of have an extra folder for plays just like that.
Oh.
They don't get deleted very easily, though.
You're a sick person.
Sticks around for a long time for some reason. I don't have control over it, you know?
You need help, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I don't think anyone is specialized in the type of help that I need. League of Legends lowlights. And we do have the Red Heralds.
He's gone home. He's gone back to his people.
Shelly coming back slowly.
Okay. Oh, little Celestial Opposition break into the Herald. And out.
Yeah.
And again, burnt the steadfast presence, so wasn't a chance of getting stuck under the tower there. Which we have seen before a while ago. I remember it was the Orianna.
Yeah.
Who was it who did that? I don't want to slander anyone.
I don't remember.
I think I know who it was, but I want to slander them in case it wasn't, so I'm not going to say the name. But I think I know who it was. But I'm not 100%.
A player.
It was a player. They were on Orianna. They got Poppy W'd under tower coming out the Herald. It was very funny.
Well, Celestial opposition down, and that's Unbreakable Will very early on here for just a dredge line. Lehen's going to love that play. We got a TP coming in from both top laners.
Okay, Alistair's got like a bit of a flank angle here, so that's a threat.
But no ult for him anymore.
Yeah, he's
also backing on a ward.
Wait, he has TP.
Wait.
But he got speared, so he actually doesn't get to recall. He's very low already.
Yeah, I think he just has to back.
Lahend is also kind of low. They don't have a great like flank ward. There's a minion wave bot lane, but it's about to die. It's about to die. It's gone. It's going.
Yeah.
It's got. He's just TPing back.
Yeah. Right to the team. They got
the
Mega turret.
Mega
gets the two of them. They find Taeyoon in the back, and he just does nothing. Has his flash available. Never got a chance to use it as Rich. This guy on Gnar, a couple of days in a row now, just looking excellent. And Oshim not respecting him at all.
Yeah, I mean, Gnar's been having some great success, but they early priored this for Rich. I honestly wasn't certain on them putting such high prior on it. It has worked. And Rich having a pop-off moment there, finding Taeyoon in particular, and just delivering their team fight a silver platter. They're going to be able to get Baron as a result of this. And I think Longshim just not respecting the Mega Gnar bar, stacks it up mid lane. It's red.
Look, he's running right at them.
You're in the banana brush, you're next to terrain. Taeyoon tries to Valkyrie, he doesn't flash, and Willa layers the CC, slamming it into the wall. You have to flash that. You have to be ready, but also you have to be ready. You have to respect. He's calling for it. He knows. He knows he has enough vision. And he's calling the Corki.
Yeah.
And the backup from the team is there. I mean, that's the thing. This was a great play, The team was all there to follow. Willer's like, I hear you. I see the Corki, I'm in. And of course, the coaching staff is ecstatic. I would be too.
That's the thing, you know, when it's a very telegraphed play, the enemies generally should get away from it, you know? But it was so telegraphed that his own team was so on board with it.
Yeah.
Like, it was so easy to be like, okay, my Meganar is going in. It's very obvious what's about to happen.
I mean, this is one of the things we always say about like Sylas into Gnar.
Yeah.
Is that the big power of Sylas is you have that always just spontaneously available Mega Gnar ult. And I know you have to steal it so it has the icon next to you, but you can just pop it on demand.
Yeah. Whereas
with Gnar, you have to have the Mega stack, you have to respect the Mega, but they didn't. And this is what can happen. It's also credit to Rich for finding the angle. But yeah, KRX, phenomenal fight there. Now with a almost 4,000 gold lead, getting more from this Baron as well.
Yeah. So much gold, so much map control.
And I think when you look at Nongshim's composition, you know, getting through the front line of KRX is difficult. You have the scaling AD carry in the Yunara, but I think it was really key for their success to be leading the charge and getting these engages on the back of these picks. If you engaged on yourself, then you're not going to have a good time. You're not going to be having fun.
Yeah. Okay, we got a kind of an interesting angle here on the Annie
flank.
TP.
Oh, Lazyfield might be in trouble. It's a good circle.
He's just going to run north. Rich is going to be in a lot of trouble as he found his way into the jungle. It seemed like they did not see that TP and did not expect the Annie to be quite there.
But it was a 1-for-1. They killed Sponge in the meantime, so you know, even though it's a nice pick on a Rich, they still lose this tower in the top lane. And again, like I can't fault Nongshim for going for this, right? You know, they end up trading 1-for-1. They end up trading tower for tower. Considering they didn't have Baron, it's nice, but you definitely wanted more from that with that TP. And Scout might be in trouble here.
No, just disengage Cone.
Okay, he's out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the Baron was pretty late on the timer anyway. They weren't going to get a ton more. With that flank angle, you're hoping for like a team fight win more than just a trade. Again, a trade win behind, we always talk about being good, but not as much as you'd maybe hope for. And especially when you look at the target they got, there was a much bigger bounty on Lazyfield, for example. So, yeah, I was just hoping for more, I think, for Nongshim there. Now at a pretty solid deficit in this game. The Yunara is extremely strong. And there's a lot of threats across the board from this team. A lot of leads from pretty much everyone. I will say one thing, is that we don't have a Mikhail's, don't have a cleanse. So if Lazyfield does end up going a little aggressive, he can be held accountable. But he has this beefcake front line to really hold space for him.
Yeah, he does. And Ondal's been playing like a crazy man in this game, almost a little bit too aggressive. With the way he's been going on this Alistar, but that's kind of what you got to do, especially when you have a Poppy and a Mega Gnar at times. Just holding on to the Poppy Copter was Willer. Gonna get that one back. As the hook from Lahen's only gonna get through the Celestial opposition. But the siege is still on, and this is without Baron, and it's without a Drake about to spawn. They're just straight up saying, okay, we're stronger than you. We want to take down this mid-inner. And they might just be able to. And the engage is massive. They find once again a squishy target. They get Scout down. As now King is just going to go in, presses his buttons on a Lazyfield, who makes him pay for that. As now the Gnar brings them all back. And Nongshim once again fall apart. KRX, the much better team today. They're going to be looking for a push in top lane.
Just absolute decimation. The fights have been so snappy, so good. You know, game one, Nongshim had a massive lead, and KRX turned it around when it came to the fights. This game, they didn't have a lead, not nearly as much, and their fights have just been devastating. It's Lahen's the only person up. He just stands no chance here.
Yeah, they're just going to take him as a free piece of food alongside of this, and this game will be even quicker than game number 2. KRX, they pull off their first Saturday Showdown win in history, and it's a 2-0 over Nongshim.
I think after week 1, we were questioning, like, when are they going to get that? Making a lot of impact happen. Yukal, no brainer at all. You know, in game 1, only Orianna was popping off with some big moments. I think Lazy Fuel as well. The Ezreal going crazy with it. I think Andal had a bit of a tough time on the Anivia. Not on the Anivia, into the Anivia, which might hit his chances.
Yeah, I don't think Andal will get it, but there are a lot of great choices here.
Yeah, so, you know, if we get a spattering of votes, that is completely fine. And honestly, I like to see that. I like to see everyone get a shout out. But also, I think that there's a lot of great choices.
I personally probably would have gone for... It would have been hard between Rich and UCal, but I think I would have gone for Rich. And, you know, he had a great performance on the Yorick. Even his flank, you remember, with the fake Cataclysm with the TP, that was also great. And then obviously the Gnar, I think, was a little bit more straightforward.
So I didn't vote for Rich, but I was deliberating between him and another player. I was so close, and I think he 100% deserved it. That Gnar roll was huge. You know, that was a bit...